So today I'm going to be discussing the significance of Charles Darwin's work entitled The Expression of Emotions in Man and Animal. Charles Darwin was an English biologist and naturalist who's best known for his contributions to and formulation of evolutionary theory. Born into a wealthy family, Darwin was reluctantly a student at Cambridge University and is said to have missed many of his classes to spend time outdoors. He had a deep fascination for beetles and devoted much of his time to cataloging different species in his notebooks. After his graduation, a 22-year-old Darwin took off on a 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle to document the South American wildlife. While journeying around the Galapagos, Darwin began to notice that the beaks of the finches native to each island seemed to be perfectly specialized to the foraging requirements. This observation later developed into one of the first theories of evolution. Nearly 2 decades later, another biologist by the name of Alfred Russel Wallace, who had been formulating similar theories, teamed up with Darwin to publish the concepts. Despite ridicule, Darwin went on to produce 3 major works of evolutionary theory. The first was On the Origin of Species, published in 1859. The second was The Descent of Man, published in 1871. And the third was The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, which has been described as Darwin's forgotten masterpiece. Darwin was one of the first mainstream scientists to take a biological approach to the causation of emotions. Before his work, it was mostly thought that animals were more like automatons or robots than sentient beings. Through his denotation of human origins from a divine creator to evolution, it would only make sense that the animals would also be granted the same mechanisms of cognition. He called upon a concept he labeled the universal nature of expression, quoting, "The young and old of widely different races, both with man and animals, express the same state of mind by the same movements." Although he did stipulate that cultural factors have an auxiliary role in shaping expression, he concluded that the majority of our emotional responses must have been inherited in the same way our bodies were, and therefore have a purpose in the scheme of our species' survival. He also concluded that there are 6 emotional states that can be seen in all humans and most animals: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, and disgust. One of the most important takeaways from Darwin's argument is that emotional states link with bodily movements for a higher evolutionary purpose. For example, jumping back when something surprising happened was a tactic used to distance ourselves from unfamiliar stimuli which could pose a threat. In addition, he also described a hierarchy of the extent of control that we have over our emotional responses.